Canada Day, how Saskatoon is celebrating the nation's birthday. Cutting for a cause, the grassroots effort of one boy to help in the aftermath of the wildfires. And more Saskatchewan communities declare a crisis over drought conditions.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. Tomorrow marks Canada Day, and celebrations will be held across the country. In Saskatoon, people will gather at River Landing, where the country's diversity will be featured. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
Within 24 hours, Saskatoon's west bank of the South Saskatchewan River will be full of folks ringing in Canada Day.
They'll sit and stand shoulder to shoulder with people from around the world, right? Representing the cultural mosaic that Canada, Saskatchewan, and Saskatoon has actually become.
Ali says the day will be an opportunity to both recognize the Indigenous people who were on this land first and the diverse communities who now call Canada home.
I think it's really important for us to honor those who came before us and who helped steward this land and all that it offers, all the benefits that it gives us through to today.
The festivities kick off at noon and will feature multicultural performances throughout the day.
It shows diversity and cultures and various, communities join together and celebrate Canada Day.
Sushmita Dutta has been performing at the event since 2017 and says she looks forward to it every year.
It's fun about its fireworks, and there are various cultures and various diversity. There's Kumitang dance and there's Chinese dance group. This is so colorful, they're amazing.
After some uncertainty due to water levels, the fireworks are still scheduled to go ahead, and people are asked to stay away from Rotary Park, where they will be set off. Last year saw over 50,000 people in attendance, and organizers say they're expecting to surpass that total this year. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The wildfire season in Saskatchewan has resulted in devastating loss for many people. It's why one boy from Creighton came up with a plan to pitch in and make the grass a bit greener for his dad, who lost his home. Carla Shinkrick has his story.
10-year-old Hunter Larson found out on June 2nd that his dad's house in Denair Beach was destroyed by wildfire. It's a house he lived in part-time.
We lost both our houses in Denair, and my dad is living in his van with my dog. I cried at first, but 2 days later, I was fine.
The school year ended early because of wildfires encroaching on Creighton, where he lives. So he had some extra time on his hands and started thinking of a way he could help.
So Hunter wanted to raise some money to help his dad out because they lost both of the homes on the property in Denair Beach.
So he decided to use his lawn mowing skills, ones he's been working on since he was 8 years old. He's mowed 30 lawns already and raised $1,500.
It's been quite devastating, so this has kept our minds off things, that's for sure.
He says it's hard work mowing lawns from about noon until 8 at night, but says it's all worth it.
They're proud of me for doing this. And they thank me for doing this.
His mom isn't surprised by Hunter's determination.
He's very selfless, though. His entire life, he's just been so helpful. If you ask any of his teachers, he's just the sweetest, kindest boy. He's just so helpful. He just wants to help everybody.
So does he have a goal that he wants to reach?
So how much would you like to raise?
I don't know.
One thing he does know, he wants to keep up with the project all summer, and they've started a GoFundMe page. Carla Shinkrook, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Frustration is growing for producers in southwestern Saskatchewan. Drought conditions have greatly impacted crops for years. Now, several RMs have declared a state of emergency. Jacob Carr has the details.
The rural municipalities of Maple Creek, Fox Valley, and Enterprise have joined Big Stick in declaring a state of emergency due to extreme drought.
Yeah, we're just in a desperate situation. Our fire hazards are high, and guys are trying to salvage what they can to make some feed for livestock, but we've got community pastures where the grass is drying up.
And for cattle ranchers who need rain and grass to feed their livestock, almost a decade of dealing with dry conditions has made life difficult.
For a young couple, trying to get going here, it's tough. All these setbacks, the drought, and it makes it hard to get ahead financially. We've been having to cut back numbers for the last number of years.
The Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation announced that they are implementing the double low yield appraisal process, which encourages acres of low yielding eligible crops to be diverted to make additional feed available. But Jack Strait says that is not enough to offset producers' current expenses.
Because farming is different nowadays. We no longer are half summer fallow and half crop. It's all continuous cropping with lots of fertilizer going down and additional chemicals. So our costs have gone way up from what was traditional farming.
The dry conditions aren't just impacting farmers' financials, but their mental health as well. Stewart is reminding them to take care and seek help if needed.
Yeah, I think something to make sure producers don't overlook is their mental health in this ongoing drought. There are resources out there, SaskAg Matters, that provides producers with 6 free counseling sessions.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Environment Canada is investigating more funnel clouds during Saturday's thunderstorms. The National Weather Service says it received a report of a landspout tornado south of Humboldt near Burr just after 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Other funnel clouds were also reported south of Saskatoon, near Vanscoy and Delisle, south of Allen and north of Reynolds. Environment Canada is reminding residents they can report severe weather and send in images and videos to help in confirming tornadic activity. Weekend of weather, Jeff.
Yeah, we certainly did, and things are going to start to quiet down. They're going to start to warm up as well, but we still have some issues up in northern Saskatchewan, basically around Cumberland House, Pelican Narrows up towards South End. A severe thunderstorm watch in effect right now, so not a warning, just a watch, but the potential for some thunderstorms is certainly there. But you can certainly see across our satellite and radar shot here, not much going on, and things are looking really quite pleasant, not just for Canada Day, but for the rest of the week. I'll have more on that later.
One person is dead after a fire in Saskatoon over the weekend. The Saskatoon Fire Department responded to the call in the 600 block of Avenue N South just after 9 o'clock Saturday morning. One person who was inside at the time was pulled from the home by firefighters but did not survive. Police say neither the fire nor the person's death appears to be suspicious. A fire investigator will now work to determine the cause of the fire. A man who attacked and set a homeless woman on fire in Prince Albert is heading back to prison. Leslie Black was sentenced to 16 years for the 2014 attempted murder of Marlene Bird, a crime that left her with severe injuries, including the loss of both legs and most of her eyesight. Earlier this year, Black was granted statutory release under strict conditions, including living at a halfway house, staying sober, and undergoing counseling. But the Parole Board of Canada says Black violated those conditions the day he was released by using drugs. The Parole Board says Black also hid the fact he had a girlfriend living in another city. The board says Black's quick return to old behavior shows he's likely to reoffend and ordered him back behind bars. Saskatchewan's Serious Incident Response Team is investigating an officer-involved shooting. RCMP say 2 officers from the Meadow Lake Detachment were called to the Flying Dust First Nation late yesterday afternoon for a man who was acting aggressively. When police got there, they encountered the man who had a weapon. One of the officers shot and injured the man, who was taken to hospital with serious injuries. CERT will now look into the circumstances of the shooting. A new direct flight from the Saskatoon airport took off for the first time this weekend. The nonstop WestJet service to Halifax was announced in April and departed on Saturday. The airport says the route will help meet summer travel demand and provide a connection to international destinations. It's scheduled to run once a week until early September. City Hospital is increasing the hours of its emergency department. As of yesterday, the ER will be open between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Earlier this year, the department reduced its hours to ensure other ERs in Saskatoon were properly staffed with doctors. The latest adjustment in operating hours means it will be open 2 hours later than it had been for the last several months. The Saskatchewan Health Authority says it's made progress in stabilizing its physician staffing and is working to return to full operating hours at City Hospital, but is taking a phased-in approach. The province finished the fiscal year with a slightly smaller deficit. At the start of the year, the government budgeted for a $273 million deficit. The latest update shows a $249 million operating deficit as of March 31st. The $24 million improvement from budget is attributed to higher revenue, which was mostly offset by above-budget expenses. Saskatchewan's finance minister says the province is focused on affordability, healthcare, education, community safety, and fiscal responsibility. A prominent face in Saskatoon's hockey and business communities has been chosen to receive one of Canada's highest honors. Jack Brodsky is among 83 people appointed to the Order of Canada. The Order of Canada recognizes people who have made an extraordinary and sustained contribution to our community. Brodsky is being honored for his leadership with the Saskatoon Blades, his multi-generational construction business, and his support for sports, education, and opportunities for youth. Jack Brodsky has also received the Saskatchewan Order of Merit, and he was the 2023 Saskatoon Citizen of the Year presented by CTV. Still to come, when the Conservative leader will have a shot at gaining a seat in Parliament. And up next, the trade war enters a new day, the promises and take-backs from Canada and the U.S. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Now to developing news in the trade dispute between Canada and the U.S. Abruptly terminated on Friday by President Donald Trump, talks are now back on, confirmed by both sides today after Ottawa decided to drop the controversial digital services tax. CTV's Mike Couture explains how it all went down.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says discussions between Canada and the U.S. restarted this morning after a call with President Donald Trump last night. But the way the Americans are framing it is very different.
It's very simple. Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved.
A blunt assessment of how it all played out from the White House. The two leaders spoke late last night, and then Canada announced it was rescinding the digital services tax. Carney said removing it was part of a bigger negotiation.
It doesn't make sense to collect tax from people and then remit them back. So it provides some certainty.
The DST was intended to collect tax from big tech companies that make money off Canadian users but don't pay Canadian taxes. Carney says the two sides will now work towards negotiating a full trade deal by July 21st.
The White House said you caved. Is that how it went down?
The Prime Minister wouldn't answer that, but the Canadian Chamber of Commerce applauds the move, pointing to the bigger picture negotiation.
$3.6 billion worth of trade crosses our border every single day with the United States. We can't afford to play with that. We need to make sure we secure that.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre believes Carney should have got something in return. Writing on X, in exchange, the Prime Minister should insist that the U.S. immediately rescind softwood lumber tariffs, adding, we need to make gains for our workers in these talks.
They forced the U.S.'s hand.
Michael Geist specializes in internet and e-commerce law. He says Canada needs smarter tech regulation than to just make web giants pay up.
We've too often looked at these companies as akin to almost like a policy ATM, where we're anxious to do withdrawals to help fund some of our policy objectives, but we haven't really factored in the costs associated with this and some of the potential negative consequences that might come about.
Now, rescinding the DST would require an act of Parliament, but the Prime Minister's office says instead of recalling the House, the government will simply stop collecting the tax until they can remove it altogether. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Pierre Poilievre can officially start the countdown to his next political race. The Conservative Party leader and former MP now knows the date of the upcoming Alberta by-election, where he'll seek to make a return to the House of Commons. CTV's Colton Prale has those details.
It's been exactly 9 weeks since election night when Pierre Poilievre stood in this building and told his supporters he would never give up fighting for them. But 24 hours later, it was clear if he wanted to continue that fight, he'd need a new seat in the House of Commons. Now we know when he might get it. In the wake of his election win, Mark Carney promised no political games around by-elections that could return Pierre Poilievre to the House of Commons, and sooner than required under election law. Today, the Prime Minister announced the vote in the Alberta riding of Battle River-Crowfoot will take place Monday, August 18th, before parliamentarians return to the House of Commons in September. The riding in southern Alberta on the border of Saskatchewan is a Conservative stronghold.
Well, he has to run somewhere, and of course this riding is probably the most secure riding.
The area we're in is very Conservative, so it's probably better that it stays that way.
Damien Couric held the riding since 2019 before resigning his position earlier this month to give Poilievre a chance to win, and the chance is strong. Couric won the riding with nearly 83% of the vote and more than 46,000 ballots ahead of the second-place Liberal candidate. The Liberals have said Darcy Spady will run against Pierre Poilievre, and he'll be far from alone. The group behind a protest that led to 91 candidates running in his Carleton riding last time around say they're planning for an even bigger slate of candidates in the upcoming Alberta by-election. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
Police in Idaho believe a suspected gunman set a wildfire and then opened fire on fire crews when they arrived, killing 2 firefighters and injuring a third.
We do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe that it was an ambush.
Local officials say firefighters were responding to a wildfire early yesterday afternoon in a popular hiking area near Coeur d'Alene. When they arrived, someone began shooting at them. Law enforcement officials locked down neighborhoods, eventually finding the shooter using cell phone data. They found one man dead at the scene with a weapon nearby. Investigators say the gunman acted alone, but are still looking for a motive. Earlier, we mentioned Saskatoon's Jack Brodsky being appointed to the Order of Canada. The list also includes Dr. Theresa Tam, who became a household name as she led Canada's public health response to the COVID-19 pandemic. BC's Chief Public Health Officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, also being appointed to the Order of Canada. Among other names, Prime Minister Mark Carney's incoming Chief of Staff, Marc-Andre Blanchard, is also getting the honor. He previously worked as a lawyer and as Canada's ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations. A nasty heat wave is gripping parts of Europe, with temperatures in some countries climbing higher than 40 degrees.
Really hard currently because the temperatures are above 45 degrees.
A new record was set for June over the weekend. It was 46 degrees in southwestern Spain near the border with Portugal. There's a number of red heat warnings across the continent in parts of Portugal, Italy, and Croatia. Meantime, amber heat alerts are in place in countries including the UK, Spain, France, and Austria. Well, Jeff, we're not going to see temperatures that high, but it is going to get warm here.
It's going to get warm here. Now, it's not going to be nearly as humid as some of those European centers, obviously, but we are still dealing with some very warm temperatures as we get into the middle of the work week after Canada Day, getting into the 30s. But let's take a look and see what we've got going on. We'll start off with our current temperatures, starting off with Saskatoon, 26 degrees in Saskatoon, 26 in Prince Albert, and 25 in the Battlefords. Partly cloudy or mainly cloudy conditions in these 3 locations. And as you can see, kind of windy in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, still relatively breezy in the Battlefords. Saskatoon's almanac for the last day of June, well, 28 degrees, 4 degrees above seasonal, but nowhere near the record temperature of 39 degrees set in 1937, and the record cold temperature 2, and that was set in 1946. The sun came up at 4:49. It's going to go down at 9:31.
Coming up, a decadent dessert for Canada Day. The Nanaimo bar made to celebrate the nation.
All right, check this out. This comes to us from Shane Armstrong. He sent this in. He calls it Ready, Set, Lightning Bolt, and oh boy, this is some fantastic footage. Shane says, insane lightning bolt facing southwest of Saskatoon before it hit the city. He took this on Friday night at about 10:45 p.m. and wow, what a set of images there. So thank you, Shane. And he shot that on his cell phone. So some really good camera action, some good lenses there on that particular camera, that particular phone. So thank you again, Shane, for sending that in. Certainly a far cry from the kind of sky conditions we are dealing with today. Relatively blue skies, a little bit of cloud out there, warm conditions, and all in all, things are looking pretty good. So let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. And as you can see, we don't have a lot of active weather. Now, a different story for parts of Ontario. They may, in fact, they might have some thunderstorm activity on Canada Day, on Parliament Hill, and in Quebec and Montreal, but Ottawa may be, and maybe not the best situation weather-wise for Canada Day, but we'll see. But otherwise, fairly quiet across Western Canada and parts of the Maritimes as well. 26 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, 25 for the Battlefords. The hot spot in the province, that was Maple Creek at 30, and the cold spot also in the southwest, Val-Marie at 4. Around the province we go. Temperatures in the larger communities, 24 degrees in Lloydminster, 27 in Swift Current and Regina, 28 in the Jaw, 25 in Yorkton, and 26 in Estevan. Into central parts of our province, temperatures generally speaking hanging around that 26-degree mark, so fairly consistent temperature pattern there. Up north, well, a little cooler, but still manageable. 17 degrees in Stony Rapids and South Bend. It warms up to 22 in Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge, 18 in Sandy Bay, Island Falls. And down south, a little warmer in places like Leader and Maple Creek, where it's almost 30 degrees. But towards the eastern side of the province and down along the international border, temperatures sort of hanging around that 26-degree mark. Now, on to our futurecast. So the computer modeling indicating, yes, there might be a little blip of something sneaking towards Prince Albert as we get into the latter part of the afternoon tomorrow, but right now that's not in our forecast, so we'll just wait and see if that transpires, but that is possible. Now, let's take a look at the severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect. That hasn't really moved since I last mentioned it. It's basically from about South End, Reindeer Lake, Cumberland House, Pelican Narrows, those areas. Still an air quality warning in and around Prince Albert National Park. And then Mother Nature doesn't care about borders, but there's a big area of Alberta under a heat warning, basically from Cold Lake down to the international border, and including Edmonton and Calgary. So some hot conditions in Alberta for certain. As we take a look at tomorrow, temperatures in the low 20s for Stony Rapids, Buffalo Narrows, and Key Lake. I guess Buffalo Narrows mid-20s, but 26 degrees for La Ronge tomorrow under cloudy skies. Meadow Lake, a slight chance of showers, 28 degrees, and temperatures not really varying all that much for Spiritwood, Kindersley, and Rosetown under mainly sunny skies. Mainly sunny or sunny conditions for the southwest with temperatures in the high 20s, low 30s, and for southeastern Saskatchewan, a similar temperature pattern. Mainly cloudy skies for Yorkton and Regina, but still pretty darn warm. 31 degrees for Moose Jaw and Estevan, and 27 degrees for Melfort, Humboldt, and Hudson Bay, 28 for Watrous tomorrow. On to the Battlefords, 12 degrees overnight, 28 degrees for Canada Day, and then for Wednesday, mainly sunny skies and 32, and then staying warm on Thursday, but then cooling off the more seasonal numbers on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and 1 week from today, a chance of showers and 22 degrees. Prince Albert's overnight temperature dropping to 11 degrees. The wind's backing off. 28 degrees tomorrow with mainly cloudy skies, and then 31, woohoo, for Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're dealing with mainly cloudy skies, and temperatures dropping down to 23 on Saturday and Sunday, 22 1 week from today with a 60% chance of showers. And Saskatoon, 13 degrees overnight as the wind backs off under mainly clear skies. 29 degrees tomorrow with a bit more cloud. Winds out of the north at 10, so not a windy Canada Day at all. Temperatures in the low 30s for Wednesday and Thursday, 25 on Friday, 23 for Saturday and Sunday, and 1 week from today, maybe a little bit of shower activity in 22.
The only question here is, why does Sonny Hayes come back to F1?
Brad Pitt's latest movie raced to #1 at the weekend box office. F1 sped past the competition to open with $55 million across North America. After 2 weeks on top, How to Train Your Dragon slipped into second place with almost $20 million. And Pixar's animated film Elio held on to its spot on the podium with $10.7 million. The 6th and final episode of a docuseries following former Humboldt Bronco Ryan Straczynski airs tonight. The series, We Were Broncos, follows Straczynski, one of the 13 survivors of the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, as he attempts to make Canada's Paralympic team. The docuseries was created by Regina-based Prairie Cat Productions and documents the partially paralyzed hockey player's attempt to make the national sled hockey team before taking on basketball. The final episode airs tonight at 7 o'clock on AMI and can also be streamed on AMI Plus. Some scary moments for pop superstar Beyonce during her Cowboy Carter concert Saturday night in her hometown of Houston, Texas. In video posted to social media, the singer is heard saying stop as the red car she rides in above the crowd tilted dangerously to one side. The car was eventually lowered onto the stage and she was able to finish the concert.
All right, Jeff. Wow, that is a good thing. It was okay. Time for Pick of the Day. What do you have?
Well, we have a triple hit and some interesting things here. We'll start off with this picture. We had some lightning shots earlier on. Well, we've got one here. But this still image comes to us from Megan White. I took this photo on June 27th of the storm that we had in the evening. My dad told me to send it in, so I hope you enjoyed it. And yes, we do. That's a lovely shot. Some great images there and some lovely colors along with those lightning bolts bouncing around the undersides of the clouds. So thank you, Megan. This next one comes to us from Alex Larson. Hi, CTV. I was watching the news the other day and saw a pre-Canada Day photo. I'm sending you a photo I took while visiting family in Kelowna. I befriended this young Stellar Jay to the point where he would land on my laptop for a peanut. I've never seen this kind of a bird before. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure if he was pranking us, but that's what that kind of bird looks like. A Stellar Jay, never heard of it before. So thank you, Alex, for that learning moment. And that lovely, patriotic flag there. And finally, last week we talked about the class of 75 from Holy Cross. Well, this is the class of 75 from Aidan Bowman Collegiate. They had their reunion last Friday evening. This picture came to us from Greg Kitts. His wife was one of the class members of 1975. And so who knows, maybe some of these students took classes from Mr. Hynett, the very first CTV Saskatoon Citizen of the Year. There you go. So if you've got an image to send us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca.
Still to come on CTV News, celebrating sweet success. How some Ontario students have created a big bar ahead of Canada Day. 5 Ontario kids have created the world's largest Nanaimo bar, all to celebrate Canada Day. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
It's been 5 years to the day since the largest Nanaimo bar record was mailed to them from Guinness World Records. And now that same family is more than doubling the size of their last Nanaimo bar today.
So 5 years ago, we made a 530-pound Nanaimo bar, and we went through Guinness and we got the official world record. And this year, 5 years later, we decided to do a 1,200-pound Nanaimo bar record just to celebrate Canada Day.
While the family still officially holds the record for the world's largest Nanaimo bar, they wanted to try again this year to hit 1,200 pounds because 12 is the average age of all 5 kids who made the bar. However, they have no plans on submitting it to Guinness this year, as they hope others will have a chance at beating their original submission.
It makes me feel really good because we're doing it again. 5 years ago, I didn't really remember anything, so I got to remake it and double it.
This Nanaimo bar took 1 full day of baking time and approximately 2 weeks to plan.
And it just shows how much, if 5 kids put their mind to something, you could do almost anything.
I really think that youth can make big differences. Like 5 kids making a 1,200-pounder to give back to youth. That's so inspirational. Like, it's just a really great opportunity that gives back.
They've been working with schools and other organizations to fundraise with Fudge, but they're hoping to take it one step further with this Nanaimo bar.
So we chose 3 charities to donate to.
One of them is NOFCC, or Northern Ontario Families of Children with Cancer.
Then the other is Yo-Yo, so Youth Offering Youth Opportunities, so which offers tennis programs, roller skating, soccer. And then the third is the Onaping Falls Legion, because they really help out a lot with youth and offering opportunities for youth.
When asked if they would bake any other world record food items,
Probably not.
Pieces of the world's largest Nanaimo bar will be on sale this Canada Day at Science North. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
When we come back, the retelling of a Shakespeare classic through a new lens. And later, the giant jumps for some big fun.
All right, let's take a look and see what we've got going on tomorrow for our rural numbers. And look, things are looking very nice for Canada Day if you're looking for warmer than seasonal temperatures. Temperatures in the high 20s for most locations. Now, Meadow Lake, yeah, there's a possibility of a shower, but just about a 30% chance, risk of a thunderstorm. We saw in the future cast, there's that little impulse coming in from Alberta. So if it does show up, we don't expect it to be anything. Well, we're hoping that the risk of a thunderstorm is just that, a risk as opposed to a certainty. Let's make our way down south where temperatures really warm up, getting into the low 30s for a number of locations in southern Saskatchewan tomorrow under mainly sunny skies. It's going to be a hot one for Canada Day in many locations in southern Saskatchewan. And does that include Pontex? And the short answer is yes, or oi. Mainly sunny skies, 30 degrees, and winds out of the southwest of 15. So a bit of a breeze. Maybe that'll take the the edge off that heat. But it's going to be a hot one in Pontex. And Pontex is where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. William Shakespeare's classic tragedy of Macbeth is being reimagined through an Indigenous lens. Set in a pre-colonial time, this version focuses on the territorial fight between the Plains Cree and Blackfoot. CTV's Brittany Poitras was able to get a sneak peek of the stage production in Regina.
Belinsky and the Epic Theatre Group have been making their way across Canada, bringing an Indigenous adaptation of a Shakespearean classic to life called Powaggan Macbeth. The group made their final tour stop at Regina's Dark Hall. Belinsky, originally from Alberta, says the performance hits close to home in more ways than one.
It was really beautiful because it started in Frog Lake First Nation, and my family's from the region. And so getting to go back out there and connect and take the story back and really try and honor that has been fun.
The production blends Shakespeare's text with Cree language and stories, transforming the classic play into something deeply rooted in culture.
Takes a Shakespeare story that many of us know, that we probably studied back in school, and brings a different vision to it.
The show is a part of Dark Hall's efforts to showcase Indigenous stories for more Regina audiences.
And we want to continue that mandate to have more Indigenous artists and Indigenous work on our stage.
Nearly 300 people saw the show during its 2-day run in Regina, and audience members we spoke to said its heart and cultural depth resonated.
There were funny moments and there were moments of terror. I laughed, I cried, it was part of me.
The key differences between the original play and Renata Arluck's version are the Cree characters, songs, and language. One example being the replacement of 3 witches with 3 coyotes.
You could recognize lines, and I love the coyotes as the 3 weird sisters. So it was really fun.
Cree stories are very valuable, and I hope that young people want to tell their own stories or adapt their own pieces.
Dark Hall marks the end of the Powaggan Macbeth tour, but its writer is working on a new project called Grandpa Stories in development for 2027 to bring more Indigenous perspectives to the stage. For Indigenous Circle, I'm Brittany Poitras in Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Saskatoon's Roger McQueen had a lightning-fast weekend since being drafted to the Anaheim Ducks.
The Anaheim Ducks are proud to select from the Brandon Wheat Kings, Roger
Immediately after being chosen 10th overall by the Ducks in the 2025 NHL entry draft, the team whisked him away by helicopter to Disneyland. He met some Disney characters, including Lightning McQueen from the movie Cars, who sports the same number 95 as the Ducks' newest draft pick. McQueen finished off by throwing out the first pitch at a Los Angeles Angels game. McQueen played just 17 games for the Brandon Wheat Kings last season due to injury, but finished with 20 points. The Prince Albert Raiders didn't have a current player drafted, but their newest signing was picked on Saturday. Max Heisey was signed to a WHL player agreement on Wednesday, and he was drafted in the 5th round of the San Jose Sharks on Saturday. Heisey comes over from the BCHL's Penticton Vs, where he led his team in goals last year. He'll join the Raiders next season. Also graduating goaltender Max Hildebrandt was named to the development camp roster for the Los Angeles Kings. Hildebrandt played all 5 years with the Raiders with a 69-53-10 record, winning goaltender of the year in 2025. He's committed to play NCAA hockey at Bemidji State next season. Despite not having Trevor Harris on the field, the Saskatchewan Roughriders scratched and clawed their way to victory Saturday night, taking down the visiting BC Lions 37-18 to remain undefeated. Donovan Mace has more.
Very familiar with.
Despite being without starting quarterback Trevor Harris, the Rough Riders are now 4-0 to start the season.
It was nice to get a lead and maintain it and be efficient, I think, in 3 phases. Now, lots to clean up still, obviously, but really proud of the guys.
Backup Jake Mayer tasked with leading the offense, making his first start in green and white. Throwing for 130 yards, getting his first win, and adding his first touchdown pass since joining the team this past offseason.
A lot of different words I can use for it, but amazing probably sums it up the best. Wasn't perfect, obviously. But it's a joy to be a part of this team.
And in Harris's absence, A.J. Ouellette taking over the game. A.J. Ouellette midfield before he's eventually tracked down. Rushing for over 100 yards for the first time as a Rough Rider. Looking for the end zone.
Finally, right? Took too long. No matter who's in there at quarterback, receiver, anything, a good run game's going to help everyone. So that's what we pride ourselves on, especially running back room, O-line room. We want to establish the run and then let the playmakers make plays.
It rallies our team. It makes my life easier. It makes our offensive line life easier, and obviously they did a great job as well.
And despite the undefeated start to the season, Mace says there are things his squad needs to clean up to keep the momentum going after the team's Week 5 bye.
Defensively, there's certainly still a ton of stuff we got to pick up. Offensively, our efficiency, just being able to finish.
The Riders' 4-0 start is the exact same record they had through 4 weeks last year, while the team's best start all time is 6-0 back in 2008. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
The United Steelworkers Union says it welcomes the new owners of Evraz North America after a period of uncertainty due to sanctions and other factors. Evraz North America, which has Canadian operations in Regina and Calgary, was acquired by Atlas Holdings late last week, ending ties to Russian ownership. The union says it's committed to working with the new ownership and all levels of government to ensure the Regina and Calgary plants continue to play a role in the province's economic future. USW is calling for a smooth transition with a focus on job security and policies that support Canadian steel. Lululemon is taking Costco to court for trademark infringement. Morella Fernandez explains why.
Lululemon is suing Costco, claiming the big box store is selling knockoffs of some of its best-selling products. The All Things Yoga store accuses Costco of selling copied clothing under the Kirkland brand, as well as dupes made by Jockey and Spider. Lululemon says Costco may be intentionally trying to confuse buyers into thinking the hoodies and leggings they're buying are made by Lululemon, but sold under the different brand names. There were some record closes today for North American markets. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the TSX all broke ceilings. Let's start with the Canadian dollar. It is up, ending the day at 73.42. West Texas Intermediate is down to 65.11. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up to 53.63, and the TSX spiked another 164 points to hit that record of 26,857. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon currently just under $1.34 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.19.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $101.13 and Nutrien was down 31 cents. Coming up, the competition that takes a lot of cooperation. Then the big bounce comes to Saskatoon.
Hey there, Derek Chesney here at the Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. This week on Crime Stoppers Unmasked, we're asking for the public's assistance in finding those responsible for a homicide that took place in the city's West End in the 400 block of Olmsted Road on the early morning hours of June 12th, 2024. Harvey Zorb, 66 years old, lived in a care home in the 100 block of Olmsted Road. Harvey had a routine he liked to follow and was often up earlier than the other residents. At 5 a.m. on June 12th, Harvey left his home before breakfast to get a drink from the 7-Eleven on Pendergrass Road. He purchased a drink at 5:25 a.m. and left the convenience store to head back home to Herbert S. Sears Park. A short time later, as Harvey made his way through the park, he was attacked. One witness saw 3 possible suspects. Harvey was brutally beaten with what police believe a T-shaped piece of metal. He was found around 6 a.m. with life-threatening injuries. Harvey received medical attention on scene and was then transported to hospital where he later died. Police, through their investigation, seized many hours of video surveillance, and they are confident that the killer and their associates are in this video. After reviewing the crime scene footage, police could see a large amount of foot traffic in and around the area of Herbert S. Sears Park that morning. Therefore, it is known that there are witnesses that have seen something that have not yet come forward. Do you have any information about this senseless and violent homicide or who is responsible for Harvey's death? If so, please give us a call at 1-800-222-8477 or leave a tip online at SaskatoonCrimeStoppers.com. We pay cash rewards of up to $2,000 for information about this crime. Tips are completely anonymous. We don't want your name. We just want your assistance. Saskatoon Crime Stoppers, do your part to stop crime in our community.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Get comfortable and settle in with these top shows all right here tonight on CTV. Well, Saskatoon residents had the opportunity to take part in a unique obstacle course over the weekend. The Zulu Challenge is a tethered race that sees participants connected to each other while they navigate the outdoor course. Organizers called it a unique team-building exercise designed for all ages and abilities. Cooperation key there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No kidding.
All right. Well, the world's largest bounce house rolled into Saskatoon over the weekend. People of all ages stopped by Windy Acres to try out the 26,000 square feet of fun. The bounce house travels all over the world. It's built to accommodate more than 450 people at once and even offers adults a chance to get in touch with their inner child.
It's important that as adults, I mean, we have so many things, so many responsibilities, and so many parts of our life with our jobs and everything else that we're so focused on career or money and everything else that sometimes you just got to take a moment and play.
For reference, this setup is more than 50 times the size of an average bounce house. So
wow.
Very big.
Mm-hmm.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure how much time we got, but I will say that after the fireworks tonight, there is free bus service getting down to the areas. That's still regular bus fees and things like that. But afterwards, there's going to be free bus service and depart from locations on either side of the river. But the best thing to do is go to SaskatoonTransit.ca for all that information. And now, what will the weather be like? Well, let's take a quick look as we put our hands on our hearts and take a look. There we go. Looks like temperatures are going to be quite warm as we roll into the afternoon, so a pretty pleasant Canada Day is shaping up.
Yeah, but tomorrow, the bus service.
Tomorrow.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow for Canada Day after the fireworks.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's going to be warm. So
it's going to be a pretty nice day. You know, I think you can embrace it because it's not going to be windy either. So that's good. Good news. So all in all, we've had some rain. Now we've got some nice temperatures to go along with the beginning of July.
Absolutely. All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Bye now.